Are you noticing the small ways your joints complain more than they used to? The gentle ache after sitting too long? The sharp protest when you stand up quickly? The stiffness that makes your first steps in the morning feel older than the rest of you? If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. Your joints are not scolding you. They're sending useful information. After 50, the smartest thing we can do for them is to stop a handful of everyday habits that quietly grind, compress, inflame, or exhaust those elegant hinges and gliding surfaces. And the moment you remove the hidden irritants, your joints often respond faster than you expect. This isn't about perfection. It's about a calmer, kinder daily rhythm that lets your knees, hips, back, shoulders, hands, and feet do their work without a constant background argument. I'm Dr. James Adler. For over 2 decades, I've helped adults protect the independence that matters most, walking comfortably, getting in and out of a car with ease, turning your head without a sting, kneeling to tend a plant, opening a jar without a wince, sleeping through the night without being awoken by a shoulder or hip. And there is a pattern I see again and again. Joints rarely fail because of one dramatic moment. They suffer from small frictions repeated thousands of times. The good news is that small corrections, repeated, can protect them just as powerfully. Today I want to help you stop the quiet, everyday behaviors that wear your joints down and replace them with simple choices that let cartilage, tendons, and the muscles that protect them breathe easier. As you listen, picture your day not as a list of restrictions, but as a series of tiny levers you can move. A few levers forward, a few levers back, and your joints start to thank you. Before we go further, a brief word to keep you safe. Everything I'm sharing is educational and meant to guide everyday habits, not to diagnose or replace your personal medical care. If you ever develop a hot, swollen joint with fever, a sudden inability to bear weight, severe pain after a fall, a joint that looks deformed, new numbness or weakness, or back pain with loss of bladder or bowel control, seek urgent care. Those are red flags we never ignore. With that said, let's calmly look at the hidden irritants you can stop today, and what to do instead. Stop waiting for pain before you move. One of the most common patterns I see is the "I'll rest until it doesn't hurt, and then I'll try to do everything in one day" approach. Joints are living structures that are nourished when you move them gently. Motion circulates synovial fluid, the slick liquid that feeds cartilage, and it keeps the tissues around the joint supple. When you wait for pain to force your decisions, you swing between too little movement and too much. Instead, decide that gentle motion is your default. Start your day with a 2-minute routine before you even leave the bedroom. Draw small circles with your ankles, flex and extend your knees a few times by sliding your heels along the sheet. Make gentle fists and open your hands. Shrug your shoulders forward and back. Turn your head left and right with your eyes open and relaxed. You're telling your joints, "I remember you. Let's get the oil moving." That alone reduces the morning stiffness that makes you feel older than you are. Then, every hour you're awake, give your joints a 30-second intermission from stillness. Stand, roll your shoulders, straighten your knees, circle your wrists. Waiting for pain is like waiting for smoke to become fire. Choose little breaths of movement and the fire never starts. Stop sitting like a statue. Long, uninterrupted sitting is one of the quietest joint irritants after 50. Hips stiffen, hamstrings tighten, the small muscles that stabilize your spine go quiet, and your knees live in a bent position that becomes their default. None of that is a crime. It's simply a recipe for stiffness and discomfort when you finally stand. Set a gentle timer for yourself, not to scold you, but to invite you. Every 45 to 60 minutes, stand up, straighten, step, and breathe for 1 or 2 minutes. If you're reading or watching something you love, hit pause, move, and then return. If you're working at a table, stand to take phone calls. If you're in a car, plan brief stretch breaks on longer trips. Small, frequent interruptions keep your fluids moving, your muscles awake, and your joints less surprised by motion. Sitting isn't the villain. Immobility is. Stop locking your joints. Many people stand with knees pushed back and elbows fully straight all day because it feels like less work. Locked joints jam surfaces together and exhaust the ligaments meant to stabilize, not bear your weight. The fix is so small it's almost invisible. Unlock by a few degrees. Soften your knees when you stand. Keep a whisper of bend at the elbows when you carry a bag or push a cart, and give your shoulders room by letting your shoulder blades rest down and back instead of creeping toward your ears. That tiny softness spreads forces through muscle instead of slamming them into the joint. You'll feel taller and more stable because you're sharing the load with the tissues designed to carry it. Stop twisting while loaded. The combination that joints dislike most is weight plus twist, lifting a laundry basket and turning at the same time, picking up a grandchild and rotating your torso, heaving a suitcase out of the trunk and pivoting on one foot. Those are the moments backs flare, knees protest, and shoulders pinch. Break the habit by separating lift and turn. When you carry something, aim your toes and hips toward your destination, then move your feet to turn rather than twisting your spine or knees. Keep the load close to your body so your arms aren't long levers yanking on your shoulders. If you need to lower something to the ground, hinge at your hips with a long spine and soft knees instead of rounding your back. These shapes are not gym tricks. They are how you save your joints hundreds of small insults a week. Stop treating weekends like a sport you have to win. The weekend warrior pattern, 5 days of mostly sitting, 2 days of intense chores or exercise, asks a lot of joints that haven't been warmed up by the week. Cartilage, tendons, and muscles respond best to regular, moderate repetition, not one giant blast. If you love longer weekend walks or ambitious gardening, wonderful. Just build a small runway to support those days. Add 10 minutes of easy movement to 3 weekdays, a comfortable walk after lunch, a gentle session with resistance bands, or a short list bodyweight moves like sit-to-stands from a chair, wall push-ups, and heel raises. You're rehearsing the motions your weekend will ask of you, so nothing feels like a sudden surprise. Stop stretching cold and yanking on tight spots. Static stretching has its place, but pulling hard on a cold muscle or tendon can irritate more than it helps. Joints prefer warm controlled range first, moving through comfortable arcs, then holding gentle stretches after blood is flowing. Start movement sessions with slow, rhythmic shapes, circles, swings, controlled reaches. Save longer holds for after you've walked, climbed stairs, or done a bit of strengthening. And consider how you're stretching. If your knee complains when you pull your heel to your butt, use a strap to control the arc, or lie on your side and bend the knee gently. If your shoulders pinch when you yank an arm across your body, soften the shoulder blade first and keep the pressure low. The goal is comfort that lasts, not a painful hero pose you abandon the next day because it made you sore. Stop asking your joints to do what your muscles should be doing. Strong muscles are shock absorbers for your joints. When they're weak, joints take the hit. After 50, it's common to avoid strength work because it feels intimidating or because you're worried about injury. The way through is simple, safe consistency, not heavy weights or complicated routines. Choose 3 patterns that protect almost everything. A squat or chair, stand to train hips and knees, a hinge like a mini deadlift with a light weight, or even a tote bag to train your back and hips, and a pressing motion like a wall push-up to support shoulders and wrists. Do 8 to 10 slow repetitions of each, most days of the week, with a day off if you feel sore. When that feels easy, add a second set or hold a light weight. Strength is not vanity at this stage. It's joint insurance. Stop carrying the world on one shoulder. Heavy bags on one side compress your neck, strain your shoulder, tilt your spine, and make your lower back and hips argue. The fix is delightfully boring. Lighten the load and split it. Use a backpack with 2 straps when you can. If you prefer a shoulder bag, alternate sides through the day. Keep the essentials and leave the rest at home or in the car. Your joints love symmetry and moderation. Every ounce you remove from that daily carry is an ounce your joints don't have to negotiate with. Stop wearing shoes that lie to your joints. Footwear is the translator between the ground and your knees, hips, and spine. Shoes that are unsupportive, too stiff, too soft, or too worn create poor translations. Flip-flops and flat fashion shoes ask your toes to claw and your knees to wobble. Very high heels push your weight forward and jam your knees. Worn-out athletic shoes twist or collapse with every step and your knees pay for it. Choose shoes that match what your feet and activities actually need. A stable heel counter that doesn't collapse. A midsole with life rather than a dead sponge. Room in the toe box so your toes can spread. And a level or modest heel-to-toe drop so your knees and hips share the load. If your arches tend to collapse, consider an insole that supports them. If your feet are stiff, A slightly more flexible sole can help. The right shoe doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be honest with your joints. Stop ignoring water and protein. Hydration keeps your joint cartilage and discs happier, and adequate protein helps maintain the muscle that protects joints. Many people over 50 eat less protein than they realize and drink less water than their joints would prefer. Front-load your fluids earlier in the day so you're not up all night, and make protein a visible part of each meal. Eggs or Greek yogurt at breakfast, beans, fish, poultry, tofu, or lean meats at lunch and dinner. Nuts or cottage cheese as snacks if you enjoy them. You're not chasing a perfect number. You're building a rhythm that feeds the tissues that stabilize, cushion, and move your joints. Stop chasing quick relief that steals comfort later. Reaching for the same over-the-counter pain gels or pills day after day can mask signals your body needs you to hear, and some medicines can stress your stomach, kidneys, or blood pressure if used too often. Heat used too long on a fresh strain, or ice used too long on a stiff joint can both backfire. I'm not asking you to be stoic. I'm inviting you to be strategic. Use comfort tools as bridges while you change the habits that create the discomfort. If something hurts, ask, what shape was I in when it started? What load was I carrying? How long had I been still? What shoes was I wearing? Replace one quiet irritant before you reach for the shortcut. Stop sleeping in shapes that twist your joints for hours. Stomach sleeping turns your neck for a long time and compresses your lower back. A pillow that is too high or too flat strains your neck and shoulders. Side sleeping without support lets your top knee collapse and twist your hips and back. The friendly fix is simple props. If you sleep on your side, place a pillow between your knees so your hips stack and your spine rests neutral. Hug a pillow to keep your top shoulder from rolling forward. If you sleep on your back, a small pillow under your knees can ease your lower back. Choose a pillow height that keeps your neck in line rather than bent to the side. The shape you keep for 6 or 7 hours matters as much as the shapes you practice for 6 or 7 minutes. Stop crossing the same leg all day. Crossing one leg over the other for hours can tilt your pelvis, torque your knees, and compress nerves around the outside of the knee. If you like crossing, alternate sides and keep sessions short. Better yet, sit with both feet grounded and your weight evenly distributed, and give yourself short standing breaks so no one position earns the right to bother you. Stop expecting your joints to be grateful for the foods that inflame them. Ultra-processed foods loaded with added sugars, refined starches, and certain fats can stoke low-grade inflammation that your joints feel as stiffness and ache. No one has to be perfect. We're human, and food is joy. But if most days you cook even one meal from simple ingredients, vegetables, beans, fish or poultry, olive oil, nuts, whole grains, you'll notice the difference. Your joints respond to the chemistry of your blood, and your blood responds to what you eat. Build plates that calm instead of provoke. Stop doing nothing when balance feels shaky. Joints crave alignment under control. When your balance is unsteady, you brace, grip, and stiffen, and joints work harder. Practicing balance is one of the kindest things you can do for your knees, hips, and spine. Stand near a counter and lightly hold it while you balance on one foot for 10 breaths, then switch. Walk heel to toe along a hallway like you're on a gentle line. Practice sit-to-stands with your arms crossed so your legs learn to do their job. These are tiny investments that prevent the big cost of a fall. Stop believing you have to earn your right to rest by pushing through pain. Productive discomfort, the effort of a strengthening muscle, feels like work during a controlled motion and eases when you stop. Joint pain that's sharp, catching, or swelling tells you to adjust immediately. The kindest thing you can do is modify the movement, reduce the range, or change the load and return later. You're training for the rest of your life, not for a short bout of glory. Stop lifting with your ego and start lifting with your exhale. Breath holding under load spikes pressure inside your abdomen and chest, which can strain your spine, ribs, pelvic floor, and blood vessels. Practice this instead. Inhale to prepare. Exhale gently through the effort, and feel your lower ribs move down and in as your deep abdominal wall supports your spine. Lighten the weight until you can breathe through every repetition. Joints love loads they can share with a steady breath and engaged muscles. Stop assuming weight has nothing to do with joint comfort. This is a tender topic, and I want to approach it with respect. Joints that bear your body weight, hips, knees, ankles, feet, and the lower back. Feel every extra pound as extra work, step after step. Even modest weight loss for those who carry more than their joints enjoy can noticeably reduce pressure and improve comfort. That doesn't mean punishment or extreme diets. It means building meals that leave you satisfied, moving daily, and letting time do what it does best. If this applies to you, choose one gentle change you can keep. More vegetables crowding half your plate, fruit replacing an afternoon pastry, water replacing sweet drinks most days, a short walk after dinner. Small changes add up loudly in the language joints speak. Stop doing it all alone. Joints are more cheerful when your nervous system is calmer, and human connection is a powerful calmer. Walk with a friend. Take a beginner class that teaches gentle strength and mobility. Ask a family member to join your evening stretch. When you share the habit, it's easier to repeat. When you repeat, your joints realize you mean it and begin to trust you with freedom again. Now let's gather these ideas into one easy day. You can try tomorrow. Wake up and do your 2-minute bed routine to invite your joints into the day. Drink some water with breakfast and include a visible source of protein. Wear shoes that match your plan. Supportive for walking, roomy enough for your toes. Set a friendly reminder to stand and move for a minute every hour. When you lift or carry, keep the load close, move your feet to turn, and breathe through the effort. At lunch, build a plate that calms inflammation. Colorful vegetables, a protein you enjoy, a whole grain side if you like it, olive oil and herbs for flavor. Mid-afternoon, take a 10-minute walk to keep your joints honest about their job. In the evening, keep salt modest, choose simple foods you recognize, and give yourself at least an hour of wind-down time without screens shouting at you. Before bed, support your favorite sleep position with a pillow between your knees if you're on your side, or under your knees if you're on your back. That's it. Nothing exotic, plenty effective. You might be wondering how soon your joints will thank you. Many people notice the very first dividends in the shape of less morning stiffness, easier first steps after sitting, and fewer sharp zings when they turn or reach. Over weeks, as strength climbs and repeated irritants fall away, the background hum of ache calms. Over months, as your routine becomes something your body expects, you start to trust your joints again. You resume small pleasures you were avoiding. You choose the stairs without bargaining. You kneel to check a plant and stand without the soundtrack you used to narrate it. That is what we're after. A life whose shapes feel friendly again. Let me answer a few quiet questions you might have. What if my joints already have arthritis? Will this still help? Yes. Arthritis is a description of the joint's condition, not a verdict on your future. The same principles, gentle motion, smart strength, less inflammatory chemistry, honest shoes, kinder loads, help arthritic joints feel and function better. What about supplements? Some people find certain supplements helpful, but they are not a substitute for the habits that change joint mechanics and chemistry. If you consider them, discuss with your clinician, especially if you take other medications. What if I'm afraid of making things worse? Start smaller than you think you need to. Range before resistance. Balance near a counter before balancing in the middle of a room. If something hurts sharply, change the shape, reduce the load, or stop and ask for help. Confidence grows from a trail of gentle successes. Most of all, remember that joints are part of a living system. They feel your sleep, your stress, your mood, your food, your shoes, your chair, your breath, your movement, and your relationships. When you remove the irritants you can control and add the supports you can repeat, they respond. Your job is not to bully them into silence. Your job is to change the conversation they live in. As we finish, I'd like you to choose just 3 stop this changes to begin today. Will you stop sitting like a statue by standing every hour for a minute? Will you stop twisting under load by moving your feet to turn? Will you stop wearing shoes that lie by choosing a pair that tells your joints the truth? Or will you stop chasing quick relief and start building the small, repeatable habits that make quick relief less necessary? Tell me which you're choosing. I read as many comments as I can, and your choices help me guide future videos. And as always, share where you're watching from. I love seeing this community of people over 50 improving their mobility together. If this conversation helped you, the best way to support the channel is to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next lessons on protecting your knees, hips, back, and hands. I prepared a follow-up video that shows you a 5-minute daily routine, no equipment, that blends gentle range of motion, balance, and light strength to reinforce everything you learned today. Click that next video and I'll meet you there. Until then, be kind to your joints, breathe through your efforts, and remember that every small choice is a message to your body. Make those messages kind, and your joints will thank you.